Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today, joined with me, first time on the show, is Ben Weber. Ben, I have met a number of times out on the road. We spoke together and in Billion Dollar Seller Summit in August. Very impressed with this young man and what he does. I'll let him introduce more about himself, his first time on the show, and then we'll get into the topic. Ben, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. Do you want to give the audience a little bit of background on yourself?
Sure. So I run an Amazon business with three friends from college. We started end of 2014, beginning of 2015, doing retail arbitrage, and have switched over in like 2017, 2018 to full private label. Now we have 8 brands, and we're doing 8 figures. So
Yeah.
we're just continually growing and trying to learn and innovate and do new things on Amazon.
So did you say 8 brands now doing 8 figures, or a brand doing 8 figures?
We have 8 brands that collectively are doing
Yeah,
eight
that's what I
figures.
thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. So what brought round to having 8 brands? Because that's quite a lot. You know, people normally have 1 or 2 brands. One is the one they're going to exit. One's the one they're still growing. You know, or
Mhm.
they kind of go down slightly different paths if they're going to pivot to something else. It's not for
Yeah.
sale, but 8 brands is quite a lot. Where did that kind of come from?
It mostly came about with the relationships we had with manufacturers where we would meet people that we could work with and we're able to get good value and good deals. And it just made sense to grow brands off of those manufacturers where we
Yeah.
had a relationship, we had the success that we could go through their catalog and continue working with them and innovating with new products as well. But where
Yeah.
it just made sense to keep them separate, but we either had to pass up an opportunity or start a new brand, and we didn't want to pass up on the opportunity, I guess would be the easiest way of putting it.
Yeah. Totally understand that. All right, let's go into the subject today. Do you want to kind of break it down for us? So effectively, what we're going to be talking about is when people create value, more value in their listing, they do not articulate it very well.
Right.
So do
Yeah,
you want
so
to
a
break
lot
this
of
down?
people do the product research to figure out how can it differentiate from the competition, and then whenever they're writing their listing, they don't tell people that. They just expect the reader to understand it and be able to determine what the value is that they're creating
Mm,
without making it clear.
yeah,
And the more clear you make the value that you're generating, the
yeah,
better your conversions are going to be, the more likely people are to come back and buy it again. And honestly, the better reviews you'll get because you're telling people, this is the problem I'm solving for you. And then when you solve that problem for them, they're like, they did solve that problem for me. I should tell people that.
yeah. I mean, in all honesty, most sellers will tell you they'll know what the problem is and they think they're solving it. So their awareness is that
Right.
it is coming across in their listings. How what are they actually kind of missing? Because most sellers will invest a lot of time and money. They'll see what the
Yeah.
problem points are, and in their head they're solving it. But you've come up with things where you've seen loads of listings where people believe they're putting their value across, but
Right.
actually it's not there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what they're kind of doing, or what I've seen a lot of people do, is what I say is selling the category, not the
Mm.
product.
Yeah.
So if they're selling like a pot, they're going to go into it and they're going to say, this can hold water, it can hold this amount of water. It's going to be really like you'll be able to boil water, you'll be able to keep water cold, you'll be able to do all these
Mm.
things. But that's just all the things that that any pot would do, like is going to do.
Yeah.
And they're not saying why their pot is special. So they're not going in and saying like our pot can hold like can boil water up to temperature or have water up to temperatures higher than X.
Hmm.
Or ours is made with a material that is rust resistant or things like that that people may not be necessarily thinking about whenever they're looking for the product unless you tell them that this is something that we're doing that other people aren't.
Yeah.
And making that a focus versus the here's why the product or what the product does, which is what any pot is going to do.
Yeah.
I guess like we have a product that we sell. I'm not gonna say the exact product, but we sell a 4 pack of it for $24. One of our competitors sells a 12 pack for just over $25, and it's basically the same product. The major differentiating thing that we did is the way that we wrote our copy, and we made ours premium. We talked about how like what it did for you, why it was better than other ones. And like, we started out trying to sell it, and we had just written like, this will clean. It's a cleaning product. It was basically, this will help you clean things. And it did not well. And so we were trying to figure out what to do. And we ended up raising the price on it, making it a premium product, and changing the way that we wrote the copy and did our images and everything to make it a, like, this is going to clean better than other things because of X. This is going to last longer than other things because of X. This is going to solve this problem for you. And as soon as that happened, we now outsell that 12 pack about 100 to 1. And it's all because of the copy. Like, they could replace our product with their product, and there would be like, ours would maybe be like 3 to 5% better, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah. But what do you do when you look to be objective and break this down?
Right.
How do you tackle this in terms of on the listing? Meaning, how do you plan this out?
Right.
And where do you look?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking at the reviews to see what problems people have with it. I mean, which everybody does. Yeah. But what I'm looking for is also, why are they buying it? So it's not just the problems. It's what is the problem they're trying to solve. So, like, one of the things we use in our training for our copywriters is, why is somebody buying a Mercedes? And the reason that they're buying it is not because it's a safe car or because it's going to get them from point A to point B. It's because of the status that it gives them. And so if you're writing your listing and you're selling Mercedes, you're not going to write it saying, I mean, not that you're going to write a listing selling Mercedes, but you know what I mean. But you're not going to write the listing saying, this is a car with four wheels and 4 doors, and it can go up to this speed. You're going to write it talking about how it makes you feel. Like, if you look at the car commercials, they never talk about the features of the car whenever you see them. They're talking about the way that car is going to make you feel when you have it. Yeah. And that's one of the things that we do. We sell a lot of gift products, and with those products, like, we're not talking about the quality of the product in our listings. We talk about the feeling that you're going to get and the reaction you're going to get from the person you're giving the gift to. Yeah. Because that's why you're buying it. You're not buying it for the quality. I mean, you want it to be a good product, but you're buying it because of the reaction that you think someone is going to get when they receive this product. A lot of our product research starts with, what problems are we trying to solve ourselves? Like, what is annoying us? What are our issues? And how do we fix that? So if you're, the biggest thing that we do is just kind of thinking outside the box as far as what we do. Like, we will typically, like, we'll be looking at products, but we'll identify the keywords that we want to sell something under first. And then we'll figure out what product solves the problem that people are having with the other products that are on those keywords. So we kind of go backwards from, here's a keyword that we like because it has a lot of searches and low density of competition. How do we beat that competition? Yeah. So we're going to go into it that way versus finding a product to begin with. We're finding our keywords first. Yeah. So yeah, once we've identified the keywords that we're interested in, then we'll start looking at the products that are on those pages and seeing what long tail keyword. I mean, we typically start long tail and then narrow it down. Yeah. But so we're looking at our long tail keywords, looking at the products that are on those, and then seeing how that goes back to the major keywords. So just going down the pot example that I mentioned earlier, like, if we're selling that, if we're looking at it and we see, okay, pot with lid is a big search term that there's not a bunch of people on, which obviously there are going to be a bunch of people on, but just for this example. But so you're looking at the pot with a lid, and you're looking at the competition for that, and you're seeing, okay, for some of these, the lid doesn't seal tight, so water spills out, or the lid is glass and breaks when there's too much heat going up into it, or something like that. So you're looking for those problems that you can solve. And then you're looking for additional long tails that are going to have your main keyword in it, which, if we're doing pot with lid, you will be looking for, like, pot with unbreakable lid, or pot with lid that doesn't break, or pot with fitted lid. And we're going to continue looking for products that fit these long tails so that they can go back to our main keyword, but we'll be able to launch under those long tails, and we'll be solving the problems that exist with those with the main products for the pot with lid. So like I said, it could be the lid's breaking, it could be the lid doesn't fit, it could be they want a lid that can work on multiple pots, they want a pot set. Like there's a bunch of different variations that could come from that, and we'd be looking to find those and figuring out how to innovate off of that.
What do you do with having 8 brands? What are you doing with regards to launches? Because I imagine you've got a shit ton of launches happening all year round.
We do, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, the biggest thing we do is we don't focus on the like major competitive keywords when we're first launching a product. We're going to look for the 3 to 5 word long tails that have reasonable search volume. Usually we try to find things that are at least 1,000 searches a month, that are 3 to 5, because those are the ones that are going to be, or longer, honestly, but those are going to be the ones that are directly relating to our product, and they're more likely to convert, because those are the ones that we are optimizing our product for and optimizing our listing for. We're optimizing our everything that we do for those long tails, because that's where we're going to get the best conversions. And as soon as Amazon sees, oh, they're converting on all of these, every time we show up or we show the product, they're converting, so we should show them more. Yeah. So you're going to be able to get impressions cheaper, you're going to make the launch cheaper, and you're just going to organically rank up on the main keywords, because they're typically going to be part of those long tails that you're using. So just continue with the pot with lid example. If we're talking about, like, if it's a black pot with glass lid, or something like that, and you're selling a black pot with a glass lid, you're more likely to convert than if somebody's just searching pot with lid. But you still have pot with lid in that long tail, so you're going to rank up on it anyway. So you're going to be getting traffic going on the ones that are the largest search terms, but you're going to be getting the conversions and sales that Amazon wants to see to make them believe that your product is relevant and wanted.
Yeah. So to summarize on that, using the long tail, less in preference generally because they're long tail, right? But because they're so tightly related in terms of relevance, generally probabilities is that higher conversion rate, lower impressions versus the clicks, etc. Higher conversion rate. Higher conversion rate means that when you do finally step it up, you've got some conversion history. And then when you take the long tail into a shorter tail, shall we call it? So as an example, growth beard oil becomes beard oil. You've ranked on growth beard oil and got the conversion history. You drop off the growth, and then when you're working with beard oil, you have conversion history in terms of relevance, category relevance, and everything else. Therefore, making, in principle, easier to rank on those keywords once you've done the early steps.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you work in reverse effectively. You're not going after the big keywords first. You go after the small ones, and you build that into your time. So how long do you often leave to invest on those in the launch period, right? How long do you spend on those long tails before stepping it up? Is there a semblance of a pattern? I know obviously you can't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
But do you see a pattern, we do this is 6 weeks-ish, depending on the time of the year, volume of those search terms, etc. And then we hit the big guns.
Yeah, so typically we'll go for about a month on the long tails.
Yeah.
Or we'll sometimes move a little earlier over to the bigger major keywords. If we're expecting the product to sell 100 units and we're already at 100 units a day and we're already at 70 units a day, then we'll say, okay, we're already ahead of schedule. Let's try and move over and take advantage of the momentum that we have now. Yeah. So if you're ahead of the projections that you have, then that's a good time to test out the bigger keywords as well, because you know that things are going better than expected. Amazon is really liking your product. Amazon customers are really liking your product. So you want to get it in front of as many people as you can, as fast as you can.
Yeah. Sounds good. Should we wrap it there? What's the best way that people can reach you?
I guess Facebook is probably the easiest. I'm not really on many. I'm not on LinkedIn. I'm not doing many things on social. But I'm at a lot of events, so you'll be able to find me there, or just reach out on Facebook.
Sounds good. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. Ben, again, thank you for joining us. I'm sure we'll get you back in future episodes. Guys, take care of yourself and your family. Much love, and I'll see you again soon.